Attention history lovers and action movie fanatics. Prepare to be transported back to the thrilling wilds of 1757. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the cast of The Last of the Mohicans, the 1992 cinematic masterpiece that swept us away with its passionate romance, pulse-pounding adventure, and unforgettable action sequences. So grab your virtual saddlebags, folks, because we're about to embark on a wild journey through the amazing transformations, and maybe even some surprising similarities, of the actors who brought The Last of the Mohicans to life. Meline Stow as Cora. Cora, Alice's vibrant younger sister in her 20s, delights in adorning herself in bold and stylish colors. She embodies purity, instinct, bravery, strength, and courage, and remains unfazed by obstacles. Her inner strength is reflected in her sweet demeanor, a quality only truly understood by Uncas, which sparks their romance. Disinterested in her college coursework, she chose to perform at the Solaris Theater in Beverly Hills, where a film agent discovered her talent, leading to multiple TV and film offers. In 1978, she made her acting debut in an episode of the police drama series Beretta, followed by guest roles in The Amazing Spider-Man, Barnaby Jones, and Little House on the Prairie. In the same year, she took on the lead role of Mary in the television movie The Nativity. She starred in two NBC miniseries, Beulah Land, 1980, and The Gangster Chronicles, 1981, where she met Brian Benben, her future husband. Her other television films include Amazons, 1984, and Blood and Orchids, 1986. In 2011, Stow made a comeback, portraying Victoria Grayson, the influential and glamorous matriarch of the Grayson family, on ABC's Revenge. The show premiered on September 21st and was renewed for a full season by October 13th. Stow's performance garnered critical acclaim, earning her a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress in a television series drama. She was also ranked number 5 on People magazine's Most Beautiful Woman list in April 2012. The series concluded in 2015 after 4 seasons and 89 episodes. Stow married Brian Benben in 1982, whom she met while working on The Gangster Chronicles. They reside in Pacific Palisades, Los Angeles, and previously owned a ranch near Fredericksburg, Texas. In 2008, Stow visited Haiti and co-founded Artists for Peace and Justice, where she serves on the board of directors. Eric Schweig as Uncas. Uncas is a young Mohican and a central figure in the story. He is strikingly handsome and, in addition, possesses the vitality inherent to his heritage. As a warrior, he is instinctive, agile, and resilient. Despite these qualities, he is also somewhat naive and sensitive. He takes immense pride in his heritage and harbors a certain disdain for the boundaries set by white men, whose actions he struggles to understand. Schweig was born in Inuvik, Northwest Territories, and is of mixed heritage, including Inuit, Portuguese, German, and Senegalese roots. He is the eldest of 7 siblings, all of whom were adopted out due to the Canadian government's failed policy to assimilate Inuit and First Nations children into white society. Schweig's biological mother succumbed to alcoholism in 1989, a fact he never had the chance to confront directly. She didn't drink a drop of alcohol until we were taken away, Schweig reflects. We were part of the whole assimilation program, forcibly taken away, although my adoptive parents told me I wasn't. At 6 months old, Schweig was adopted by an English-speaking German-French family. He lived in Inuvik until he was 6, after which his family relocated to Bermuda before returning to Canada. In the 1990s, Schweig began carving masks as a natural extension of his artistic pursuits. Since childhood, he had a strong inclination towards carving small wooden items like figures and kayaks. Under the guidance of artist Vern Etzerza, he studied traditional Pacific Coast carving techniques before focusing on creating custom and traditional Inuit spirit masks, collaborating with master carver Art Thompson. In 2017, Schweig took on the responsibility of adopting 2 foster siblings, Reflecting on the transition to fostering, he noted, "I went from 30 years of bachelorhood to Mr. Mom overnight. Everything changed. I went from only having to consider myself for every decision to centering everything on my foster kids. It was a real 1 to 80. Schwag now resides in Vancouver with his son and daughter, Russell Means, as Chingachgook. Chingachgook is the closest friend and ally of the protagonist, Natty Bumppo, also known as Hawkeye. He first appeared as Arrowhead in the TV movie The Pathfinder, 1996, marking his second role in a film adaptation of a James Fenimore Cooper novel. He also appeared in Natural Born Killers, 1994, played Jim Thorpe in Windrunner, 1994, portrayed Sitting Bull in Buffalo Girls, 1995, and had a brief role in the miniseries Into the West, 2005. As a voice actor, he contributed to Disney's third highest-grossing feature film, Pocahontas, 1995, and its sequel, Pocahontas 2, Journey to a New World, 1998, voicing Chief Powhatan, the title character's father. Means also guest-starred in the 1997 episode Roll With It of Duckman, where Duckman takes his family on what turns out to be a visit to a casino masquerading as a genuine Indian reservation. Additionally, Means played Billy Two Feathers in Thomas and the Magic Railroad, 2000. In 2003, Means starred in Pathfinder, a film about Vikings clashing with Native Americans in the New World. He also co-starred in Res Bomb, directed by Stephen Lewis Simpson, marking the first feature film he worked on at his native Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, alongside Tamara Feldman, Trent Ford, and Chris Robinson. Means was a significant contributor to Simpson's feature documentary on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, A Thunder Being Nation. In 2004, Means made a guest appearance on HBO's Curb Your Enthusiasm, portraying Wandering Bear, an American Indian skilled in landscaping and herbal medicine. Means was married 5 times, with the first 4 marriages ending in divorce. His 5th marriage was to Pearl Means, who was his wife until his death. Pearl passed away 10 years later in May 2022 at the age of 62. Means had 10 children in total, 7 biological and 3 adopted in the Lakota tradition, including actor Tatanka Means. As a grandfather of 22 grandchildren, Russell Means divided his time between Chinle, Navajo Nation, Arizona, and Porcupine, South Dakota. Stephen Wadington as Madjaden Duncan Hayward. Stephen Wadington is widely recognized for his supporting role in Michael Mann's The Last of the Mohicans. He made his film debut in 1991 with Edward II, where he played the title character. Wadington also appeared in Tim Burton's 1999 adaptation of Sleepy Hollow as Mr. Killian. He took on a leading role as Jeff in Steve Coogan's The Parole Officer, 2001. In 2003, he starred as Prasutagus in Boudica, and later, in 2007, he played a role in the Showtime series The Tudors, which was connected to Edward II. He went on to feature in the ITV drama Vital Signs, alongside Tamsin Outhwaite, and portrayed King Richard in the Series 2 finale of Robin Hood. Wadington also played Wilfred of Ivanhoe in the 1997 BBC A&E adaptation of Ivanhoe, based on Sir Walter Scott's novel. He reprised his role as Richard the Lionheart in the BBC Discovery Channel drama documentary Heroes and Villains, Richard the Lionheart, 2007. From April to July 2010, he portrayed Adam Fleet, the head of the canteen, in Waterloo Road. He appeared in 2 Swedish films, as Arnold of Troja in the 2008 film and miniseries Arn, The Knight Templar, and as McCullen in Agent Hamilton, But Not If It Concerns Your Daughter, 2012. In 2012, he also appeared in the 4-part ITV miniseries Titanic. Wadington played Marshall Redwick in the Sky One series Jamestown, which debuted in 2017. He had a role in Thomas Vinterberg's 2018 political thriller Kursk, based on the true story of a doomed Russian submarine. In 2022, he appeared as the Scotsman in Uncharted, alongside Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. Wadington is married to actress and model Jane March. and they have one son. Maurice Raves as Colar's Edmund Monroe. Actor Maurice Raves brought Colonel Edmund Monroe to life in the film. Born in Sunderland, England to Rhoda Leyden and Percival Raves, he moved to Glasgow at a young age and grew up there. To support his father, he left school early and served in the Royal Scots Greys as a tank mechanic. It was during his service that his talent for acting shone through, earning him a gold medal. Raves's television debut came in the 1969 series Scobie in September. In 1971, he took on the role of a schoolmaster in an episode of Out of the Unknown titled Taste of Evil. A short-lived thriller series called The Scobie Man followed in 1972. Throughout his career, Raves graced the screens in numerous productions, including The Sweeney, 1975, Danger UXB, 1979, Doctor Who, 1984, Days of Our Lives, 1986, North and South, 1985, and Star Trek The Next Generation, 1993. He also appeared in the BBC adaptation of Vanity Fair, 1998, the soap opera EastEnders, 2003, the detective drama A Touch of Frost, 2003, and the teen series Skins, 2008. Raves delivered a powerful performance as Chief Superintendent David Duckenfield in the television film Hillsborough, 1996. In 2006, he portrayed Sir Matt Busby in the BBC docudrama Surviving Disasters, which recounted the tragic Munich air disaster. He played a leading role as Robert Henderson in the Scottish drama River City. He even took on the role of a retired police superintendent in an episode of Southcliffe, 2013. In 2014, Raves announced his move to Nottinghamshire with his wife, Vanessa Rawlings Jackson. They also enjoyed spending part of the year at their condo in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Sadly, after a period of declining health, Maurice Raves passed away in 2020 at the age of 83. Jodie May as Alice Munro. Jodie May portrayed Alice Munro in the film. Hailing from Camden Town, London, England, May's upbringing was influenced by her mother, Jocelyn Hakim, who had previously been married to fashion designer and music manager Malcolm McLaren, then known as Malcolm Edwards. After their split and a subsequent relationship with a German man, a topic May prefers to remain private about, Jocelyn bestowed her adopted surname, Hakim Edwards, upon her daughter. May received her education at Camden School for Girls. Acting beckoned at the young age of 12, and later she delved into English studies at Wadham College, Oxford. May's acting debut came at the remarkable age of 12 in A World Apart, 1988. The role earned her a shared Best Actress award with co-stars Barbara Hershey and Linda Mavusi at the 1988 Cannes Film Festival. Stepping behind the camera, May contributed writing and acting talents to the television series Moving On in 2018. The world of fantasy beckoned in 2019 when she took on the role of Queen Calanthe in Netflix's live-action adaptation of Andrzej Sapkowski's book series, The Witcher. Most recently, she joined an international cast including Valentina Cervi, Francesco Scianna, and Filippo Timi for Marco Simon Puccioni's film The Invisible Thread, a Netflix production released in 2022. Edward Blatchford as Jack Winthrop. Playing Jack Winthrop in the movie, Edward Blatchford found wider fame for his comedic turn as Peter Collins on the sitcom Malibu CA, 1998-2000. Created by Peter Engel. Their collaboration extended to guest spots on Saved by the Bell, Hang Time, and City Guys. A founding member of Chicago's American Blues Theater, Blatchford also graced shows like Crime Story, The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., and Jag with his presence. In 2010, Blatchford donned both writer and actor hats for the independent short film Saved by the Belding, a playful nod to his Saved by the Bell character, Rod Belding, brother to Dennis Haskins' Richard Belding. His directorial talents earned him a 2016 Joseph Jefferson Equity Award nomination for The Rainmaker at his theatrical home, the American Blues Theater. Edward Blatchford has since transitioned into real estate, working for Certere Properties in Newport Beach, California. He holds a Bachelor of Arts from the College of Santa Fe and a Master of Fine Arts from DePaul University. Married to Laura, they share a daughter named Alexandra. Wes studi as Magua. Magua is the antagonist to Colonel Monroe, the commandant of Fort William Henry, and makes several attempts to kidnap the colonel's daughters, Cora and Alice. He also supports the French leader, the Marquis de Montcalm, in the fort's assault. In 2002, Studi portrayed Police Lieutenant Joe Leaphorn in a series of PBS films based on Tony Hillerman's novels set in the Southwest, among the Navajo and Hopi tribes. Produced by Robert Redford, the series includes titles such as Skinwalkers, Coyote Waits, and A Thief of Time. In 2005, Studi played a character inspired by Chief Opachangsano, leader of the Powhatan Confederacy in Virginia, in Terrence Malick's film The New World. In 2009, Studi took on the role of Major Ridge, a Cherokee leader before the Native American relocation to Indian Territory, in the episode Trail of Tears from the PBS series We Shall Remain. This episode, part of the acclaimed American Experience series, focused on significant events in Native American history after European contact, and Studi spoke exclusively in Cherokee. Also in 2009, Studi appeared in James Cameron's Avatar as Tukan, the chief of a Navi tribe, delivering his lines solely in the Navi language. In 2017, he starred as Cheyenne Chief Yellowhawk in Hostiles. At the 90th Academy Awards, Studi presented a tribute to military films and delivered part of his speech in Cherokee, showcasing his fluency in the language. Studi became the second Native American actor to present at the Oscars, following Will Rogers in 1934. After completing his studies, Studi taught Cherokee language and syllabary, helped establish a Cherokee language newspaper, and engaged in ranching. From his first marriage, he has a daughter, Leah, and a son, Daniel. Following the end of this marriage, Studi left ranching to pursue acting, a career path suggested by a friend as a way to meet women. Patrice Shero as Gen Montcalm. He appeared as General Montcalm in Michael Mann's The Last of the Mohicans. In 1966, Shero was appointed artistic director of the Public Theater in the Parisian suburb of Sartrouville. With idealism and innovativeness, he made the theater a municipal commodity, presenting not only theater, but also cinema, concerts, poetry productions, lectures, and debates about everything from politics to pot. His theatrical team included costume designer Jacques Schmidt, stage designer Richard Peduzzi, and lighting designer André Dio, with all of whom he collaborated in many later productions. Shero directed the first performance of the three-act version of Alban Berg's Lulu, completed by Friedrich Cerha at the Paris Opera on February 24, 1979, again conducted by Boulez and with sets by Peduzzi, with Teresa Stratas singing the title role. The scene is set during the time of the composition, around 1930. Koch observes frequent themes of Hunt and love colder than death, Verfolger und Verfolgte und Liebe, kälter als der Tod. Dr. Schön, a powerful newspaper manager, is inspiring of supporters of Hitler. Shero died in Paris on October 7, 2013, from lung cancer. He was 68 years old. In 2009, Shero signed a petition in support of director Roman Polanski, who had been detained while traveling to a film festival in relation to his 1977 sexual abuse charges, which the petition argued would undermine the tradition of film festivals as a place for works to be shown freely and safely, and that arresting filmmakers traveling to neutral countries could open the door for actions of which no one can know the effects. Dennis Banks as Ongawaz Gan. Dennis Banks portrayed Ongawaz Gan in the film. As a staunch advocate for native pride, Banks challenged authority and represented the nation's oldest minority. In 1968, he co-founded the American Indian Movement, AIM, in Minneapolis. AM aimed to safeguard and promote the civil rights of Native Americans living in urban areas and to protest the treatment of Native Americans and the historical injustices faced by indigenous peoples. Banks believed that the time had come when Native Americans could no longer endure the abuse and that Native American mothers could no longer tolerate the mistreatment occurring on reservations. Since the 1978 The Longest Walk, sacred runs have evolved into an international movement. The Sacred Run 2006 featured participants from Japan, Australia, Ireland, Canada, and numerous U.S. states. In 2008, the international The Longest Walk 2 retraced the routes of both the 2006 Sacred Run and the original 1978 walk. During this event, Dennis Banks presented a Manifesto for Change to Representative John Conyers, DMI. Banks also served on the Board of Trustees for Leech Lake Tribal College, a public two-year institution near Cass Lake, Minnesota. He had several stepchildren: Roland, Kaliga, Blanchard, Beverly Barabeau, Glenda Roberts, Denise Banks, Pearl Blanchard, and Danielle Louise Dickey, who was murdered in 2007 on the Turtle Mountain Reservation in North Dakota. He also had a granddaughter named McGeezy from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Banks fathered 20 children and had over 100 grandchildren. In his later years and at the time of his death, he was in a committed relationship with Lumbee attorney and native rights activist JoJo Brooks Shiflett. Dennis Banks passed away at the age of 80 due to complications from pneumonia following heart surgery on October 29, 2017, in Rochester, Minnesota. Terry Kinney as John Cameron. Terry Kinney played John Cameron in the film. Kinney was born in Lincoln, Illinois, the son of Elizabeth L., a telephone operator, and Kenneth C. Kinney, a tractor company supervisor. Kinney has been involved in theater since 1974, when he, Gary Sinise, and Jeff Perry founded the Steppenwolf Theater Company. He directed Richard Greenberg's play Well-Appointed Room in 2006 and Neil LaBute's Reasons to be Pretty in 2009. In 2010, he directed another Lanford Wilson play, 5th of July, for Bay Street Theater, July, and for the Williamstown Theater Festival, August. In October-November 2012, Kinney directed Checkers, a new play by Douglas McGrath at the Vineyard Theater, New York City. He directed Lyle Kessler's new play Collision in January 2013 at Rattlestick Playwrights Theater. Besides his theatrical work, Kinney has done much acting, mainly for television, starting in 1986 with an appearance in Miami Vice. In 1987, he starred as Pastor Tom Bird in the CBS miniseries Murder Ordained opposite JoBeth Williams. He is perhaps best known for his portrayal of the idealistic unit manager Tim McManus on HBO's prison drama Oz. In 1995, Kinney co-starred with Tommy Lee Jones in an adaptation of an Elmer Kelton Western novel titled The Good Old Boys. Tommy Lee Jones directed this made-for-TV movie, which also co-starred Sissy Spacek, Matt Damon, Sam Shepard, Wilford Brimley, and retired Texas Ranger H. Joaquin Jackson. From 2016 to 2023, Kinney has played Hall, a recurring character in the TV series Billions. In 2019, Terry was cast in the Shonda Rhimes miniseries Inventing Anna, alongside Julia Garner, Laverne Cox, and Anna Klumsky. The series, which depicts Instagram-famous scam artist Anna Sorokin, premiered on Netflix in 2022. From 1984 to 1988, Kinney was married to Elizabeth Perkins. From 1993 to 2005, he was married to his Oz co-star Catherine Urbe, with whom he has 2 children. Kinney lives in Brooklyn, New York. David Schofield as Sergeant Major. David Schofield's portrayal of the Sergeant Major in the film is just one of his many accomplishments. On the small screen, he took on the role of Kirill in the 2008 web series of the same name. 2009 saw him guest star as the Regal King, aligned in the BBC fantasy drama Merlin. He then delivered a chilling performance as Police Sergeant Foley in Hugo Blick's 2011 BBC Two crime drama miniseries The Shadow Line. Schofield's television credits extend further, including a 2015 appearance as Odin in the BBC series Doctor Who, and a turn as Vivon Woolsey in the 2016 episode The Mask of the Demon of Father Brown. He has also graced historical dramas like The Last Kingdom and biblical epics like the 2018 film Mary Magdalene, where he portrayed Thomas the Apostle. Beyond film and television, David Schofield boasts an impressive stage career. He has performed with prestigious companies like the Royal Shakespeare Company, the Royal National Theatre, and the Royal Exchange in Manchester. A true thespian, Schofield even originated the role of John Merrick in the 1977 premiere of Bernard Pomerantz's play The Elephant Man. His diverse talents extend to musicals and the West End stage in London. Schofield's voice has also captivated audiences. He brought the iconic character of Javert to life in a 2001-02 BBC radio adaptation of Les Miserables. Since 2007, he has been a mainstay on BBC Radio 4's drama series Brief Lives, playing the role of Frank Twist. His radio resume also includes Tellwright in Helen Edmondson's adaptation of Anna of the Five Towns in 2011. Colum Meanie as Madge Ambrose. Though credited as Madge Ambrose in this film, Colum Meanie's acting journey began on British television in 1978 with Zeedcars. He went on to build his resume with guest spots on shows like Remington Steele and Moonlighting, before finding acclaim on the big screen. His performance in The Snapper even earned him a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor. Star Trek fans know him well. Meanie's first appearance in the franchise was a blink-and-you'll-miss-it role as an unnamed helm officer in the 1987 pilot episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. This character, eventually christened Miles O'Brien, became a recurring favorite, particularly as the transporter chief. In 1993, Meanie traded the bridge of the Enterprise for the command center of Deep Space Nine, starring in the spin-off series until its finale in 1999. With an impressive 225 appearances across Star Trek iterations, he holds the second-place spot for most appearances in the franchise, trailing only Michael Dorn. Meanie's filmography extends far beyond the stars. He joined forces with Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx in the 2009 action thriller Law-Abiding Citizen, portraying Detective Dunnigan. That same year, he brought his Irish charm to The Simpsons on St. Patrick's Day, lending his voice to a friendly bartender. Also in 2009, the film The Damned United hit theaters, a fictionalized account of Brian Clough's short-lived stint as manager of Leeds United. Meanie took on the role of former manager Don Revie. He later co-starred in Soldiers of Fortune. More recent credits include a 2013 appearance in Alan Partridge, Alpha Papa, and a chilling turn as the horse in the BBC miniseries The Driver, 2014. For 5 seasons, he brought railroad magnate Thomas C. Durant to life on AMC's period drama Hell on Wheels. On a personal note, Meanie wed Irish actress Bearbray Dowling in 1977. Their daughter Brenda, who also pursues acting, was born in 1984. After their 1994 divorce, Meanie married French costume designer Inès Glorian in 2007. They have a daughter born in 2005 and currently reside in the town of Soler, Mallorca. Meanie is also a vocal supporter of Sinn Féin. Pete Postlethwaite as Captain Beams. Despite suggestions early in his career to pick a stage name, some claiming Pete Postlethwaite wouldn't light up marquees, Pete stuck to his guns. His journey began at Liverpool's Everyman Theatre, where he shared the stage with future stars like Bill Nighy and Julie Walters, with whom he had a personal connection in the 70s. In 2003, Pete toured a powerful one-man show called Scaramouche Jones across Australia and New Zealand. This thought-provoking play explored a clown's search for meaning before his midnight death, earning him awards and critical praise. The director, Rupert Gould, would later collaborate with him again on a unique production of King Lear, where Pete remarkably embodied every single character. Pete was a vocal champion for environmental action. He even installed a wind turbine at his home and publicly expressed his worries about climate change. He believed the dangers were too great to ignore and urged for change. In 2009, he threatened to return a prestigious honor, OBE, and switch his political allegiance if the government approved a specific coal-fired power plant project. Sadly, Pete was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 2009. Despite his worsening health, he continued acting for another year and a half. His weight loss in his final performances became a visible sign of his battle. On January 2, 2011, at the age of 64, Pete Postlethwaite passed away at the Royal Shrewsbury Hospital. Daniel Day-Lewis as Hawkeye. The character of Nathaniel Natty Bumppo, the central figure in James Fenimore Cooper's Leatherstocking Tales pentalogy, is a well-known fictional figure. An archetypal American ranger, Natty Bumppo has been depicted in a variety of media and has become a fixture in popular culture. Daniel Day-Lewis's early career in the 1980s encompassed theater and television roles, such as portraying an impotent man-child in Frost in May and a World War I officer torn between British and Irish loyalties in the BBC production, How Many Miles to Babylon? A small but notable part came his way in the film Gandhi, 1982, where he played Colin, a South African street thug who racially harasses the titular character. Day-Lewis landed a major theater role in late 1982 when he assumed the lead part in Another Country, which had premiered the previous year. He followed this up with a supporting turn as the conflicted yet loyal first mate in The Bounty, 1984. Joining the prestigious Royal Shakespeare Company, he took on the roles of Romeo in Romeo and Juliet and Flute in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Steven Spielberg's biopic Lincoln, 2012, featured Day-Lewis's portrayal of Abraham Lincoln. Based on the book Team of Rivals, The Political Genius of Abraham Lincoln, the film commenced shooting in Richmond, Virginia in October 2011. Day-Lewis dedicated a full year to preparing for this role, a time frame he had requested from Spielberg. At the 2008 Academy Awards, Day-Lewis received the Best Actor award from Helen Mirren, who had won the Best Actress Oscar the previous year for her portrayal of Queen Elizabeth II in The Queen. In a playful moment, Day-Lewis knelt before Mirren, who then tapped him on each shoulder with the Oscar statuette. He humorously remarked, "That's the closest I'll come to ever getting a knighthood." However, in the 2014 birthday honors, Day-Lewis was indeed appointed a Knight Bachelor for his contributions to drama. On November 14, 2014, he received his knighthood from Prince William, Duke of Cambridge, during an investiture ceremony at Buckingham Palace. That cast reunion was a blast from the past, right? Seeing the stars of The Last of the Mohicans all these years later is pretty amazing. If you dug this journey through the cast's transformations, hit that like button like there's no tomorrow. And to keep the awesome content flowing, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, folks.